This part of Chris Watts' confession, which only happened in his third confession when Tammy Lee, Special Agent Graham Coder, and Detective Dave Baumhover went to Doge Correctional Facility to interview Chris Watts once again in an unprecedented interview after he was already in prison serving his 5+ consecutive life sentences.
Something was urgent. Just like I had to say something.
Okay. So then exactly what did you say and what happened?
So when I woke her up and just like, hey, we just gotta talk.
Okay.
And I told her, I don't feel compatible. I don't feel like this is gonna work. I just, I don't wanna, can we cancel the trip to Aspen? And she had booked a trip that week to go to some mystery 4-star luxury hotel or something.
Mm-hmm. Just the two of you or the whole family?
Just me and her.
Okay.
And she had Amanda there, couldn't watch the kids that weekend or something.
Okay.
And I was just like, can we cancel that? Can we do something? From what I remember, I even said, can we move to Brighton just to get away from this house?
Oh.
But I'm not sure if that was in the beginning or the end of part of the conversation or whatnot. That conversation went so many different ways. They had gone from staying together to not staying together to just all of the above.
Okay. So this is half an hour, what?
Definitely not more than half an hour. I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think.
Are you crying? Is she crying?
It's back and forth. It's she's got mascara. She didn't wash her face when she got home. She had makeup on still, so mascara was running all over her and stuff like that. And it was nothing about that conversation. I just wish I could take all of it back. Just the whole Nikki thing back, everything. But
So then when did it turn?
as far as that conversation, just at the end when I was telling her I told her I didn't love her anymore. That's when it happened.
What happened?
She told me to get off her, and then I put my hands on her.
Okay.
Did you say she said something that you were hurting the baby or something?
That was before that, because when I was straddling her, it was kind of around her waist type deal.
Why did you get on her like that?
I just when we got on the bed, that's just what I got on.
Is that so she would listen to you?
I felt she could probably listen to me just laying beside her, but I got on top of her.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I think about it, I'm just did I know I was going to do that before I got on top of her? I don't know.
Really? That's an interesting thought, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if you knew.
It's everything that happened that morning, I don't know, I try to go back in my head, I'm just I didn't want to do this, but I did it. Everything just kind of
Felt like you had to?
it just felt like it was, I don't even want to say it felt like I had to, it just felt like there was already something in my mind that I was implanted that I was going to do it, and I woke up that morning, it was going to happen, and I had no control of it.
You never thought about it before?
It was just I don't want, when, just in the sentencing hearing that the prosecutor said it takes 2 to 4 minutes for something like that to happen. Why couldn't I just let go? I didn't.
Oh, that's interesting.
I just let
Was
go.
it feeling like it was in motion and you just couldn't stop it?
Yeah, it was just I don't even want to know what she saw when she looked back at me, honestly.
Did you look at her? What was she doing?
She wasn't fighting.
Why do you think she wasn't fighting?
I don't know, maybe she was praying, maybe she was just... I read the Bible, it said, the scripture says, don't forgive these people for they do not. She, when you guys told me, take off your shirt and check for defensive wounds, and there wasn't going to be any. She didn't fight. I don't know why.
So she didn't grab, could she grab your arms, or were her arms pinned down, or?
Not that I remember. I don't think so. I don't think I moved to where my knees were around her arms or anything. But it was just kind of when I got on top of her, we started talking. That was it. It's kind of in my head. But like in the back of my head, that was going to happen. And just like at the end of the conversation, it was just like, that's what happened. I just wish I could have let go.
Did it seem like it was that long, 2 to 4 minutes? How long did it seem for you?
Almost kind of felt like it was longer almost, because it felt like time was standing still. It's kind of like I just saw my life just disappearing before my eyes, but I couldn't let go. It was like somebody else, like if you picture somebody else around you, holding your hands, holding you, keep you from not letting go.
At some point there was a statement about rage. Do you feel like you're in a rage at that point?
That's the only way I can describe it, honestly. Like a snap, something. I know. I guess my attorney had said like some, strangulation is more of like a, I don't know, passionate type thing. I'm just like, I don't know how that can be passionate.
It's just intimate because you're right in there,
Yeah.
using your own hands. It's a lot different than someone standing across the room and you shooting them or something like that. So
It just felt like somebody was like behind me, just like, I just couldn't let go.
It's interesting to me because there was a lot of things in your life that were like that, right? Where you're just like, maybe felt out of control, or maybe felt like, I don't know why I couldn't take a step back, or, like even when you said, when your buddy was like, let's go to the football game, you wanted to say yes, you just couldn't.
Yeah, I wanted to. Like, I haven't been to a football game since North Carolina, so I was just like, yeah, sure. Like, I wanted to say that.
Yeah.
I wanted to just text him, hey, it fell through, can't go.
So, then what?
Just, after Shanann was like, when she was gone, I was just like, I didn't know what was going on. It's like, it was like a traumatic, I don't know what you call it, traumatic event type, and everything, and like, I was shaking. I didn't know what had happened. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I had done. I still wasn't in that right state of mind. I don't think like I was in control of what I could think or what I could do at that point in time. Like most people say, like, why don't you just call 911? Why don't you, like, unless you're in that situation, you don't know. You don't know what you would have done. Mm-hmm. It's easy to play Monday morning quarterback.
mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
Like I said, if somebody shoots somebody, you don't know what they was going through their mind at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you'd have done. It just felt like somebody was like behind me, just like, I just couldn't let go.
It's interesting to me because there was a lot of things in your life that were like that, right? Where you're just like, maybe felt out of control, or maybe felt like, I don't know why I couldn't take a step back, or, like even when you said, when your buddy was like, let's go to the football game, you wanted to say yes, you just couldn't.
Yeah, I wanted to. Like, I had never been to a football game since North Carolina, so I was just like, yeah, sure. Like, I wanted to say that.
Yeah.
When she was gone, and I was just like, I just texted him, hey, I didn't know what's going on. It was like a traumatic, I don't know what you call it, traumatic event type, and everything, and like,
So,
I was shaking. I didn't know what happened. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I had done. I still wasn't in that right state of mind. I don't think like like I was in control of what I could think or what I could do at that point in time. Like most people say, like, why don't you just call 911? Why don't you, like, unless you're in that situation, you don't know what you would have done. It's easy to play Monday morning quarterback.
I agree with that.
Like I said, if somebody shoots somebody, you don't know what they was going through their mind at that point in time. You don't know what you'd have done.
So what happened next? Is that what happened? Bella came in. What she said?
Oh,
Did she hear something? Is that what she came in?
obviously, I think.
Okay. What'd you tell me?
Mommy don't feel good.
And then, did that happen with Bella right in that room?
Not in front of her.
What happened?
She walked in as, she's talking up. She was sleeping.
Did you take her back to her room?
Put Shanann in that sheet that you found in sight.
Okay. And what?
Carried her downstairs. Backed my truck up.
At that point, were the girls still there? Okay. So then Shanann's in the truck. Then went back to the house.
Got everybody back in the truck.
Was Bella first or was Cece first?
In the truck?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So Shanann was first, and then Bella was next. Was Bella alive when you guys got in the truck? Oh, okay. What happened?
I woke back up.
Okay.
I don't really want to talk about this part, honestly.
Okay.
Those are my kids. This is my baby. I have to talk to them every night. I don't see how this could happen.
Okay.
Every time I see pictures of them, I don't know how this could have happened. Being a dad was the best part of my life. I took it all away.
I think that's the hardest part for us, Chris, is we see those videos, we see that love that you had for your girls. Like, it's obvious to us, and even to us, it's hard for us to understand how a dad who's given piggyback rides and, making snacks and watching princess movies and those kinds of things, how you get to that point,
I don't know. Like I said, it was just like something else was controlling me that day. I had no control over what I was like to fight back.
Yeah.
Like when that prosecutor said that Bella bit her tongue, like repeatedly, I just wanted to just bang my head up against the wall.
So you put Shanann in the truck, and then you put the two girls in the truck? Were they just sitting in their car seats, or I guess they didn't probably have car seats in your truck, did they?
No, I was sitting in the back with in that bench. And
So Shanann was back there too?
she was on the floor.
What did they say about Shanann being on the floor?
Mommy, okay?
What'd you tell them?
She'll be fine.
Did you have their stuff with them, like their toys and their blankets and stuff?
They had something with them that they carried. One of them, I think Cece and Bella had like a blanket or something with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like a pink blanket or.
What about the dog? I think one of them had a dog, right? That talked or dog.
Yeah, one of them had like a little barking dog.
Was that with you too? Do you know?
I think it was. Try to. It's hard to remember. Like if
Yeah.
they had like the big blanket, small blanket.
So, I think I saw on the video that you put a gas can or something in the back of your truck. Is that right? Did you have different plans when you put that in there?
I don't know what was going through my head. I felt like maybe I could just get rid of myself at the same time if I was doing all this, honestly.
Yeah.
Did you think about that?
What'd you think about that?
I didn't feel like I deserved to live after what had happened.
Was there any thought to the whole family going away that day, to include you?
After everything happened, that's a definite thought.
Yeah. See, it's interesting to me. We had all kind of wondered if there was a point when you were all together, and if you were all going to pass together. That to me makes sense, because that's, even though it sounds crazy, that's what a family man does, right?
Family man doesn't do what he did.
No, I know. I guess what I mean is, it seems like you guys were going to be together forever in that way. Is that maybe what was going through your head?
Honestly, I just felt like I didn't deserve to live.
Yeah.
And it was like, whatever judgment I was going to come upon myself, I just didn't deserve to be on this earth anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Okay.
So what made you not do that? Do you think?
I don't know if it was just more of like because with the site, maybe it was just more of like, I would have hurt more people than just me and everybody else. Like, I know there was other people out there, not like at the site, but other people like maybe out in the area. Like, I didn't want something like on the site to catch fire and blow up, and then other people around would get hurt in the same.
So you were thinking initially about starting a fire out there or an explosion or something, or?
Just no, not for that. Just like maybe I could just take care of myself and not admit that.
How?
Gasoline, that's the only thing you do. I mean, I don't have a gun. I don't have anything like that. It's not like you can just commit suicide that way. But
So
it's
just
like,
to blow yourself up?
I mean, it was just, I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, I don't have weapons. I've never hunted before in my life. I don't know what. I mean, nothing was right that morning.
Yeah. I remember you kept telling me that. You kept saying, I didn't know what I was doing, Tammy. I didn't know. Like,
Yeah, when you asked
I
me about
remember,
the sheet, like, what were you doing? Like, I don't know what I was doing.
yeah. I think you were just like in automatic mode, or it seemed like. So did you drive straight out there? So what were you thinking on the way out there?
It's kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'm just like, nervous, shaking, not knowing, like, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, my life has completely changed. I don't know, like, what's happening. Like, honestly, like, I try to picture that whole ride. Like, it's like 45 minutes to an hour ride out there. And it's just like, couldn't I have, like, saved my girl's life? Couldn't I have done something? Why did I do it? I don't know.
All right.
Like, this is my flesh and blood. This is like what I wanted all my life, was to be a dad, just to have, kids, and they loved me, they, all that, and it just nothing made sense.
Right.
Like the oil tank, nothing made sense. I'm just like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. So what happened when you got out there?
I took Shanann out just to a place off to the site.
Mm-hmm.
And then
What were the girls doing when you were doing that?
just sent them back to the truck.
And then what happened after that?
CC was first. She did have a blanket. She had a blue blanket. A Yankee blanket.
So was she alive when she went into the oil tank? No.
I put the blanket over her head.
And that's how she passed. Couldn't breathe.
I put the blanket over her head. I didn't want to. No. I strangled her right there in the back seat.
Okay.
What was Bella doing?
She's sitting right beside her.
Did she understand? Did she know what was going on?
She didn't say anything.
And then the same for Bella. Just without a blanket.
With the blanket.
Oh, okay.
I didn't look. It's like every time I closed my eyes, I just hear her saying, "Daddy, no," and that was it.
That's what Bella said.
I hear that every day.
You're like, sorry, man.
I'm sorry, it doesn't take anything back that I did.
I know. Is it possible that in your mind you didn't want them to suffer throughout their life? Was this like a mercy thing?
I mean, you can say that like after the fact, but it was just like, I don't.
You didn't feel like that during it?
I just didn't. It felt like it was just like an anger with Shanann, with everything that I was just taking it out on everybody that was in front of me that morning.
Yeah.
I mean, kids growing up without their parents, depending on what grandparents or whoever they grew up with, seemed to be fine. But it was just like, it was an anger thing. It was just like.
And what were you so angry at Shanann about? Like if you could pinpoint it.
Nothing that makes anybody want to do this. I mean, you could be angry at your spouse like your whole life, but you should never have done anything like this. You should never let it get to that point.